Sawadika, hello and welcome to ASEAN Challenge, the show to give you the latest headlines, hot topics and updates happening around your ASEAN community in 2 languages. I'm Rosalyn Tepawan.
And I'm Alisa สิทธิวงศ์ขอต้อนรับทุกท่านเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge ค่ะข่าวสารรอบอาเซียนภาษาอังกฤษและภาษาไทย
Kicking off the show now into ASEAN around us, taking a look at some trends happening around our ASEAN community. One important day, or many important days all around the world, something that can't be missed, especially with the importance of the next generation, filling in the gaps of the current generation. And that said, International Children's Day is being celebrated and has already been celebrated all around the world, especially in ASEAN on different days. So we'll go around talking about how different countries around ASEAN plus are celebrating International Children's Day and on which days.
That's right. So we bring this topic up because just yesterday was Thailand's Children's Day, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people went out or either stayed home with their kids. They probably engaged in several activities, and a lot of shopping malls, restaurants, schools, and government offices also opened up to allow children to go in and be kind of like, you know, you fulfill the children's dreams. What do you want to be when you grow up? You can sit, like, for example, you can sit and pretend to be a news anchor like us. You can go and try different activities, try to be a policeman for a day. Different activities happened yesterday, and of course that's one of the reasons why we're bringing this topic up in ASEAN around us this week, because actually Children's Day was not always held on the second Monday of January in Thailand itself. It used to be held in October, but however in October it's considered as still the rainy season, and it might be a little bit complicated for children to come out and engage in activities or spend a lot of time outside of the homes with their family. So therefore the government then changed the date to becoming the second Saturday of January of every year to make that Children's Day for Thailand. But as you mentioned, Kun Rosalyn, that Children's Day in different countries are celebrated on different days.
Right.
Now, sometimes there are different organizations, so there's a background to where these days come from. Taking a look at 2 important organizations which created, let's say, Children's Day. We have the Universal Children's Day, which is held on the 20th of November of every year. That is the UN's official Children's Day that they created. And another organization, Women's International Democratic Federation, where they hold Children's Day or International Children's Day to be on the 1st of June every year.
Right, so we have those important milestones each year for different countries, celebrating them in different ways. Actually, International Children's Day could well be called also Family Day, because for Thailand, that's when families get together all day pretty much. If you're in Bangkok around that time, all around during that time, the city, families go out and they celebrate in different ways. They eat together, they engage in fun activities. Sometimes different companies actually just really set aside a bunch of space and prepare different festivals and carnivals just for families to engage in. And here, you're also seeing a lot more engagement from children as well, coming out to perform, show the importance of children and the impact they make in society as well. So all these talented children coming out to perform for this huge international audience.
That's right. So as mentioned yesterday was Thailand's Children's Day, but let's take a look at other ASEAN countries. When do they celebrate Children's Day? Taking a look at CLMV first, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. They all hold Children's Day on the same day, which is the 1st of June, which is considered the International Children's Day by the Women's International Democratic Federation. And if we take a look at Laos itself, you know, one thing that they do as well, it's not only considered Children's Day, but it's also a day to grow plants and trees. So besides activities that kids will engage in, whether it's fun and games and entertainment and sports, what you will also see in Laos is also a lot of giving back to nature and planting trees as well. In Vietnam, we also consider this as like the Moon Festival as well, or they also what also happens is there's a day where children have to spend, or parents give a lot of time to children to spend with each other, and they consider that as like the moon festival as well. So besides the traditional moon festival activities that happen, it's also considered oriented around children. Activities are based on that as well. So it's a very lively event and very warm one as well.
Definitely. Moving from Vietnam over to another country here, Indonesia, also celebrating Children's Day, but on a different day here, the 23rd of January. Is that correct?
That's
so
right.
23rd of January, a different day for Indonesia.
July,
July, rather, coming out to celebrate together as a huge family and showcasing all of what children have to offer as well. Taking family out to go and explore the city, spend time together is pretty much the big message right there. For Singapore, they celebrate Children's Day on the first Friday of October, so a different day altogether, but at the same time setting aside a very important time to spend with their family and children. So very important days to recognize all around ASEAN++, whether it's Indonesia, Singapore, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand as well.
Now, one thing we should note as well is in terms of how different countries celebrate Children's Day or the activities. In Singapore, that day will be a day where children will take the day off from school and they will go home in order to celebrate or spend time with their parents. But if you go to Malaysia, however, this is also in October as well, but in Malaysia, for the Malaysian children, they prefer to celebrate or have activities at school. So they have Children's Day activities in school rather than taking the day off and spending it at home. But if we take a look at Vietnam, a lot of activities happen as well on Children's Day. And what we will see is one of the highlights is a street carnival. One thing that you will notice if you go to Vietnam during Children's Day is that there are parade, games, music, dance performances, traditional folk dance, music, choir, it can be hip-hop as well, and it's a very cheerful and energetic atmosphere for children.
Wow, just look at them dance. They're so talented, showcasing all of their talents and skills on, well, in the public place right there. It's a colorful art party altogether featuring, as you said, all of the lights and action. And actually, just to unify and solidify a lot of the ASEAN countries together, ASEAN has also gotten together to create their special Children's Day as well. It's called the ASEAN Plus Children's Festival, which Vietnam hosted, and pretty much calls together children from all of the ASEAN countries to join together and perform and to celebrate, whether it's Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Myanmar even, and Cambodia, also Korea and China joining in on the action. And we've seen a lot of activities following a particular theme as well. A journey of discovery is going to be the most recent one, and the festival will give the children the chance to learn more about different cultures from respective ASEAN countries, as well as share and dialogue. Not just culture, but language and art and festivities.
That's right. According to the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, they mentioned that the ASEAN community has been established for 50 years, with children being our future. It is important to build a playground for them to communicate and know more about cultures of different countries. So we can say that the next generation of ASEAN are the children, of course. So therefore, you know, building up their communication and relationship with one another within the ASEAN community will build a stronger ASEAN community in the future.
Definitely an event to follow each year, not just the Children's Day in different countries, but also this ASEAN Plus Children's Festival.
ใช่แล้วค่ะในอาเซียนอารันเดสัปดาห์นี้นะคะเราจะมาดูเรื่องวันเด็กกันค่ะเพราะว่าเมื่อวานนี้เป็นวันเด็กของประเทศไทยแต่ว่าจริงๆแล้ววันเด็กของประเทศไทยเนี่ยไม่ได้จัดขึ้นวันเสาร์ที่2ของเดือนมกราคมมาตั้งแต่เริ่มต้นก่อนหน้านี้จริงๆแล้วเขาตั้งให้เป็นในช่วงวันจันทร์แรกของเดือนตุลาคมแต่ว่าในช่วงนั้นถือว่าเป็นหน้าฝนอยู่และอาจจะสร้างความลำบากให้กับเด็กๆเพื่อที่จะออกมาร่วมกิจกรรมต่างๆได้แล้วก็กลัวว่าเด็กจะเปียกอาจจะเป็นหวัดกันบ้างดังนั้นรัฐบาลเนี่ยก็เลยเปลี่ยนนะคะให้กลายเป็นวันจันทร์ขออภัยค่ะวันเสาร์ที่2ของมกราคมตั้งแต่ปี2508เป็นต้นมาตอนนี้ก็ยังเป็นวันเสาร์ที่2ของมกราคมแล้วก็เพิ่งผ่านไปเมื่อวานนี้นี่เองนะคะแต่ว่าเรามาดูประเทศอื่นๆในอาเซียนกันบ้างว่า ประเทศอื่นๆในอาเซียนเนี่ยเขามีวันเด็กกันตรงกับวันไหนบ้างแล้วมีกิจกรรมอะไรที่น่าสนใจนะคะคือจริงๆแล้วมันก็จะมีหลายๆองค์กรที่ออกมาพร้อมกับวันเด็กไม่ว่าจะเป็นองค์กรที่มีชื่อว่า Women's International Democratic Federation หรือว่าสภาสตรีประชาธิปไตยนานาชาติเนี่ยค่ะเขาก็ได้ตั้งให้วันที่1มิถุนายนคือวันเด็กนานาชาติหรือว่า International Children's Day ซึ่งก็จะมีประเทศทางลุ่มแม่น้ำโขงไม่ว่าจะเป็นกัมพูชาสปป.ลาวหรือเมียนมาเวียดนามเนี่ยก็จะใจตรงกันตั้งให้วันที่1มิถุนายนเนี่ยเป็นวันเด็กของเขาเช่นเดียวกันแต่ว่าก็มีองค์กรอื่นๆอย่างเช่นทางสหประชาชาติเนี่ยค่ะเขาก็ตั้งให้วันที่20พฤศจิกายนของทุกปีเป็นวันเด็กสากลหรือว่า Universal Children's Day เราก็จะเห็นได้ว่าประเทศอื่นๆก็จะมีหลายๆช่วงของปีที่เขามีกิจกรรมต่างๆแต่ว่าถ้าดูในอาเซียนเองก็อย่างที่บอกไปนะคะทางลุ่มแม่น้ำโขงก็คือวันที่1มิถุนายนแต่ว่าถ้าดูประเทศอื่นๆอย่างเช่นอินโดนีเซียก็คือ23กรกฎาคมสิงคโปร์ก็จะอยู่ในช่วงเดือนตุลาคมนะคะแล้วก็มาเลเซียก็เป็นวันเสาร์สุดท้ายของตุลาคมเช่นเดียวกัน
ใช่ค่ะก็ถือว่าประเทศแต่ละประเทศจะมีการเฉลิมฉลองไม่เหมือนกันนะคะบางประเทศก็ต้องการที่จะฉลองแบบครอบครัววันหยุดแต่ว่าบางประเทศก็ต้องการที่จะฉลองที่โรงเรียนก็จะมีpurpose คนละแบบกันนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นก็จะมีการเฉลิมฉลองไม่เหมือนกันแต่ว่าในประเทศอาเซียนนะคะก็จะมีการเฉลิมฉลองพร้อมกันนะคะในกิจกรรมที่ชื่อว่าอาเซียนบวกหรือว่า ASEAN Plus Children's Festival จะเป็นการเฉลิมฉลองแบบทุกประเทศอาเซียนส่งกลุ่มเด็กเข้ามานะคะเพื่อที่จะเฉลิมฉลองแล้วก็โชว์ความสามารถพิเศษของแต่ละคนพร้อมกันโดยเฉพาะที่เวียดนามนะคะก็จะมีการจัดสรรงานที่ชื่อว่า Journey of Discovery ซึ่งเด็กๆหลายคนนะคะจากแต่ละประเทศไม่ว่าจะเป็นประเทศไทยมาเลเซียอินโดนีเซียหรือว่าลาวหรือว่าเกาหลีกับเมืองจีนด้วยเช่นกันนะคะก็จะมีการเฉลิมฉลองแบบที่ทุกคนเนี่ยจะเต้นรำกันหรือว่ามีการร้องเพลงนะคะในกิจกรรมที่ชื่อว่า Street Carnival นั่นเองเป็นการเฉลิมฉลองที่น่าสนใจจริงๆ
ค่ะจริงๆเด็กๆนะคะก็คืออนาคตของประเทศชาตินะคะแล้วก็น่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของการเจริญเติบโตของอาเซียนด้วยเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยกิจกรรมที่เกิดขึ้น ASEAN Plus Children's Day ที่เกิดขึ้นเนี่ยก็เป็นหนึ่งอย่างที่จะสร้างเยาวชนให้กลายเป็นผู้ใหญ่ที่ดีในอนาคตนั่นเองค่ะ
and that was International Children's Day for ASEAN Plus Plus. We'll be keeping our eyes peeled for more activities to come. But with that said, time for a short break. When we come back, more coming up in ASEAN Hot Issues. Stay with us.
พักกันสักครู่ค่ะ
Welcome back to the program into ASEAN Hot Issues. Now we'll take a look at what's making headlines around ASEAN Plus. And starting with the first updates coming from Malaysia, one of the biggest reports to come out this week, and that is none other than the stepping down of Malaysia's King Mohammed V, resigning on Sunday, January 6. It's the first time a monarch has actually stepped down from the throne before completing their 5-year tenure. As for the reason behind this resignation or abdication, we have yet to find out. But so far, no official reports came out as to why he came out to resign from his position as monarch.
That's right. So in total, Malaysia has a total of 9 households in which rotates to take the throne as monarchy, of course. Now they will be having to meet up with each other in order to elect who will be the next monarch of Malaysia. And that will take place on the 24th of January, which whoever is selected will be sworn into their position on the 31st of January itself. So according to the law, after the position of monarchy is available, they must find the next person to come take the position within 4 weeks' time. So therefore, it's a very important situation, and therefore they have set the dates already, 24th of January, where the royal households will be meeting together in order to, or the Council of Rulers, excuse me, to be meeting up together in order to elect who will be the next monarch, and this next monarch will be sworn in on the 31st of January. So during the palace statement, of course, it also mentioned that on the side of the government itself, they require it to be very important because they need to report to the monarch on different situations and updates throughout their working period as well.
Right. So still, though, at this period, there's a vacuum because the king's resignation took effect immediately. According to the National Palace statement, no official reason, as stated earlier, was given, and so far palace officials have not responded to any requests for more comments. But the statement went on to say that the king was grateful for the chance to rule the country, administer the government in a way by the Council of Rulers, also thanking the Prime Minister and the government for their role as well. But this resignation does come barely a couple weeks after the king resumed his duties after he took medical leaves for 2 months. But there have also been some images circulating at the same time showing the king actually getting married in Russia, which appeared on social media. But at the same time, we have to question those images coming out and the credibility and authoritativeness of all of that. But still, those images came out in December, but at the same time, the palace did not respond to these requests for comment on the photos and the reports of alleged marriage. But it's something to keep our eyes peeled about.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาเริ่มกันอาเซียนอารันดัสในสัปดาห์นี้นะคะกับข่าวที่ค่อนข้างที่จะดังพอสมควรในช่วงสัปดาห์ที่ผ่านมาเกี่ยวกับมาเลเซียนั่นเองนะคะซึ่งทางเจ้าหน้าที่ก็ได้เผยนะคะสภาผู้ปกครองของมาเลเซียเนี่ยจะมีการประชุมกันในวันที่24 มกราคมเพื่อที่จะเลือกกษัตริย์พระองค์ใหม่หลังจากที่สุลต่านมูฮัมหมัดที่5นะคะสมเด็จพระราชาธิบดีแห่งมาเลเซียทรงประกาศสละราชบัลลังก์หลังจากที่ทรงครองราชย์ได้เพียง2 ปีเท่านั้นนะคะซึ่งถือว่าเป็นครั้งแรกในประวัติศาสตร์ของประเทศมาเลเซียเลยทีเดียวที่สมเด็จพระราชาธิบดีทรงสละราชบัลลังก์นะคะโดยที่ไม่ได้เปิดเผยเหตุผลแต่ว่าก็มีรายงานข่าวว่าพระองค์เนี่ยทรงอภิเษกสมรสกับอดีตนางงามรัสเซียวัย25 ปีเมื่อเดือนพฤศจิกายนที่ผ่านมาก็ทางการก็ยังไม่ได้ออกมาระบุอย่างชัดเจนว่าเหตุผลที่สละราชบัลลังก์คืออะไรแต่ว่าจะมีการเลือกว่าใครจะมาครองอีกครั้งหนึ่งในวันที่24 มกราคมที่จะถึงนี้ค่ะ
ใช่แล้วค่ะเราก็จะจับตาดูต่อไปนะคะว่าจะมีข่าวคืบหน้าอย่างไรบ้าง We'll keep you posted on those developments as they come quickly toward the end of January. Meanwhile, still in Malaysia, but on a different note now, Malaysia is taking other action in terms of environmental protection because China recently banned the import, or rather import you could say, of plastic waste from so-called developed countries. It seems that the plastic waste has been deterred towards Southeast Asia instead, and many different countries are trying to scramble to find ways to tackle the building issue of plastic waste. And Malaysia is one country that has stepped up and banned non-recyclable foreign plastic scrap from its country. And because various reasons, the garbage, they say, is actually building up and polluting their farms. Being a country that's also very agricultural, agrarian, it seems like the buildup of plastic waste in the farms and also water sources are severely affecting the local population. So action has been taken to step down on this buildup.
That's right. So each year we can see that developed countries around the world generate millions of tons of plastic garbage each year. Now, before this, they would send their garbage mostly to China, but just of last year, China has also had the same ban, and therefore these countries have started to turn to different countries within Southeast Asia, and hidden in palm oil plantations and behind tall fences, we can see dozens of unlicensed plastic recycling factories, as we see currently on screen at the moment now in the footage, have been processing waste from countries such as the USA, the United Kingdom, and New Zealand itself. And it mostly happens in this quiet district, which is located an hour away from Kuala Lumpur. But now the thing is, local residents have been worried about the pollution they create, and they eventually convinced authorities to shut many of the plants down. And so now Malaysia has been stepping up in order to make a move towards not allowing non-recyclable foreign plastic waste to come into the country.
Right, another issue is, as mentioned, know-how. A lot of countries, especially in Southeast Asia and developing countries, do not have the technology to deal with the plastic waste properly. But sent to countries that are able to tackle the plastic waste, like Singapore, for example, creating their own man-made island to send their waste is a very high-tech, cutting-edge way of handling the buildup. But altogether, when countries, like you mentioned, the US, New Zealand, and the UK, sending their plastic waste to countries that don't have the proper policies, legislation, or even technology to deal with it results in buildups like this, where locals are affected and plastic just builds up and contaminates the societies and the agriculture and produce. So altogether, companies are working together to try and find better ways to propose to deal with the waste. Now, coming up from the Charles Santiago, a Democratic Action Party member of Parliament in Malaysia, what they're doing is trying to get together companies to join up and remove waste from their countries currently, that are trying to create more policies where manipulation of the plastic waste is a possibility. But altogether, Malaysia is trying to struggle to create new policy to deal with this as well.
That's right. But it's mentioned that even if Malaysia does enforce this new policy, the garbage is likely to be pushed to the shores of other developing countries anyways. And one thing that was mentioned by Jennifer Turner, which is the director of the China Environment Forum, she mentioned that she believes Malaysia's move is a part of a larger global conversation that is starting around how to tackle garbage and plastic waste. So not only have we seen something or moves against plastic in different countries like Malaysia, Singapore itself, Indonesia and Bali, they recently also banned single-use plastics to be used on the island itself as well. So we can see that in the recent times, a lot of countries are starting to make a stronger move against plastic waste.
And here we have Jennifer Turner herself speaking to the China Global Television Network program about how Malaysia can actually be a role model in leading other countries to tackle the same direction. So let's listen to Jennifer Turner, director of the China Environment Forum at the Woodrow Wilson Center.
ค่ะเดี๋ยวไปฟังกันค่ะ
And the US and Europe, we've been shipping our waste there for 40 some years, and now we have to kind of realize that, whoa, what are we going to do with this waste? And you're right that if Malaysia closes the doors, it's just going to be a trickle down to other countries. But I think what's good with what's happened now is that there's now starting to be a global conversation. And I think kind of adding to that has been a lot of environmental groups, also reporting National Geographic and others about how the oceans are being filled with more and more plastic waste.
และนั่นก็คือการสัมภาษณ์ของ Jennifer Turner นะคะเกี่ยวกับสภาพสิ่งแวดล้อมแล้วก็วิธีการจัดการพลาสติกนะคะซึ่งในข่าวที่2ที่จะนำเสนอในวันนี้นะคะก็เป็นข่าวเกี่ยวกับมาเลเซียนั่นเองที่จะหยุดการนำเข้าขยะพลาสติกจากต่างประเทศค่ะทางการของมาเลเซียก็ได้กล่าวว่าประเทศจะหยุดการนำเข้าขยะพลาสติกจากต่างประเทศที่ไม่สามารถที่จะรีไซเคิลได้เนื่องจากว่าขยะเหล่านี้นะคะก่อให้เกิดมลพิษอย่างร้ายแรงต่อฟาร์มแล้วก็แหล่งน้ำอีกต่างหากซึ่งแต่ละปีเนี่ยเราจะเห็นว่าประเทศที่พัฒนาแล้วเนี่ยของโลกคือเขาจะสร้างขยะกันเยอะมากหลายพันตันเลยทีเดียวส่วนใหญ่เนี่ยเคยถูกส่งออกไปยังประเทศจีนเพื่อนำไปรีไซเคิลแต่ตอนนี้จีนเขาได้ประกาศเลิกเมื่อปีที่แล้วนะคะตอนนี้ขยะดังกล่าวเนี่ยก็ถูกส่งมายังเอเชียตะวันออกเฉียงใต้รวมถึงมาเลเซียด้วยตอนนี้ก็คือมาเลเซียก็พร้อมที่จะหยุดการนำเข้าแล้วก็จริงๆแล้วส่วนใหญ่เนี่ยประเทศต่างๆที่นำเข้าพลาสติกก็จะเป็นประเทศที่เจริญแล้วไม่ว่าจะเป็นสหรัฐอเมริกาสหราชอาณาจักรแล้วก็นิวซีแลนด์แล้วก็จะมีเมืองอยู่เมืองหนึ่งที่อยู่ใกล้ๆกับกัวลาลัมเปอร์เนี่ยในเมืองนั้นเขามีโรงงานรีไซเคิลพลาสติกที่ไม่ได้รับใบอนุญาตหลาย10แห่งเลยทีเดียวแล้วมันก็สร้างความเดือดร้อนให้กับประชาชนที่อยู่ในเมืองแห่งนี้หลังจากนั้นเนี่ยทางการของมาเลเซียก็เลยได้ออกมาพร้อมกับมาตรการที่จะหยุดไม่ให้นำเข้าพลาสติกขยะจากต่างประเทศเลยทีเดียว
ใช่แล้วค่ะเราก็จะต้องติดตามดูนะคะว่าจะมีประเทศอื่นที่เอาเรียนแบบตามประเทศจีนหรือว่าประเทศมาเลเซียหรือเปล่าการควบคุมการนำพลาสติกเวสต์เข้ามาในประเทศที่ไม่สามารถมีใช้เทคโนโลยีเพื่อที่จะ process พวกพลาสติกนี้ก็จะอาจจะมีอุปสรรคนิดนึงค่ะเราก็จะคอยติดตามข่าวดูต่อไปนะคะ but from Malaysia let's head over to some updates happening in Bangkok. Actually, one of the headlines making news this past week as well includes a very unexpected visitor coming to Bangkok. A Saudi woman had arrived in Bangkok en route to Australia, actually barricading herself in a hotel near the airport, seeking refuge and asylum and assistance now from authorities in Bangkok not to send her back to her country. Because according to Rahaf Mohammed Al-Kunan, she says she's fleeing her family abuse and fears if she's sent back, she would be abused, maybe even killed by her family members.
That's right. So initially Thailand had plans to send her back, but then halted the plans on Monday, and in which, of course, this was after she locked herself in the hotel room and wouldn't come out until her flight that was supposed to take her back home already left without her. Now after that, she has requested for to talk to different areas, including UNICEF itself and, UNHCR, in order to talk about the possibilities of seeking refuge and going into Australia. She says that she does have a visa to go into Australia and she does want to seek asylum because she does fear of going home, which could, as you mentioned, lead to her death. Her family has abused her and she will not talk to her family members as well in this situation, and she does not want to go back at all.
That's right. She said one of the reasons she fled was that her family was actually criticizing her for cutting her hair above other things, among other things, and because of that, she tried to leave and seek refuge elsewhere. She was actually in the process of a family reunion in Kuwait, it seems, but with all of that going on, she continued her interaction with the public via social media, via Twitter, via other means of communication. And that said, she gained a lot of followers and a lot of assistance from different groups. As mentioned, though, she will not budge without having first spoken to important representatives, she said, from the UN High Commissioner for Refugees to discuss the possibilities of immigration.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมากันต่ออัปเดตข่าวเกี่ยวกับหญิงสาวชาวซาอุดิอาระเบียนะคะซึ่งยังคงถูกกักบริเวณอยู่ที่โรงแรมในสนามบินสุวรรณภูมิหลังจากที่หลบหนีการทารุณจากครอบครัวนะคะเธอได้เดินหน้าเรียกร้องให้ทางการไทยเนี่ยค่ะอย่าส่งตัวเธอกลับประเทศแล้วก็ขอพบกับตัวแทนของสำนักงานข้าหลวงใหญ่ผู้ลี้ภัยแห่งสหประชาชาติเธอมีชื่อว่านางสาวราฮาฟโมฮัมหมัดอัลกูนุนนะคะเป็นสัญชาติซาอุดิอาระเบียวัย18 ปีเธอเรียกร้องไม่ให้รัฐบาลไทยส่งตัวเธอกลับไปยังซาอุดิอาระเบียนะคะพร้อมทั้งยืนยันว่าเธอมีวีซ่าเข้าออสเตรเลียแล้วก็เป้าหมายของเธอเนี่ยคือต้องการที่จะลี้ภัยไปที่ประเทศแห่งนั้นขณะเดียวกันค่ะเธอก็ได้เรียกร้องที่จะขอพบกับตัวแทนของสำนักงานข้าหลวงใหญ่ผู้ลี้ภัยแห่งสหประชาชาติหรือว่า UNHCR ประจำประเทศไทยซึ่งคาดว่าเพื่อที่จะหารือเรื่องการลี้ภัยในครั้งนี้เพราะว่าเธอบอกว่าเธอตกอยู่ในที่อันตรายแล้วถ้ากลับไปเนี่ยอาจจะเสียชีวิตได้
ค่ะก็ถือว่าเป็นการข้อเสนอที่โชคดีนะคะเพราะแรกๆเกือบจะต้องกลับไปประเทศคูเวตแล้วแต่ว่าต่อจากนั้นก็คือสามารถอยู่ต่อไปได้ so we'll keep you posted on more developments as the whole country and the world continue to watch this case unravel. But from Bangkok now we head over to some more developments coming out from Indonesia. On a more environmental note this time though, with endangered turtles in Indonesia now being released back into the ocean. Some good news in terms of environmental development here. More than 30 stranded turtles have now been rescued and released, you could say, from the beaches around Indonesia's Banten province following a deadly tsunami that hit the coast. And because of that, many animals had been endangered. This was since December 22nd. And with that said, these hawksbill turtles had been found and stranded along a particular beach, the Tanjung Lesung Beach, and a popular resort destination it is after the tsunami had hit. These turtles are quite big. They're around 1 meter long. That's about 3 feet. More than 3 feet actually, according to the locals there. They said they posted this video here by Indonesia's search and rescue agency called Basarnas. It shows men carrying the sea turtles along the shore littered with debris here from the tsunami and then trying to release them back into the ocean. Hopefully they're not too frazzled to go back all right away, but The undersea landslide following the collapse of this volcano in the strait led to about 5 meters of waves, that's 16 feet, hitting the coast between Indonesia's Java and Sumatra Islands. Apart from animals being affected, more than 400 people have been killed.
แล้วค่ะมาต่อกันที่ประเทศอินโดนีเซียนะคะในช่วงนี้เราก็จะเห็นข่าวเกี่ยวกับภัยธรรมชาติค่อนข้างที่จะเยอะแต่หนึ่งในนั้นนะคะที่เป็นข่าวดีสักเล็กน้อยนะคะคือเต่าที่ใกล้สูญพันธุ์ในอินโดนีเซียนะคะสามารถถูกปล่อยกลับไปตามธรรมชาติได้นะคะก็มีการพบเต่าที่ใกล้สูญพันธุ์ที่ถูกพบติดอยู่ตามชายหาดของแทนจองเลซุงนะคะซึ่งเป็นจุดหมายปลายทางของรีสอร์ทยอดนิยมหลังจากที่เกิดสึนามิเมื่อปลายสัปดาห์ก่อนนะคะโดยเต่าแต่ละตัวเนี่ยมีความยาวประมาณ1 เมตรหรือว่า 3.2 ฟุตด้วยกันวิดีโอที่เราเห็นกันในขณะนี้นะคะเป็นวิดีโอที่โพสต์ด้วยหน่วยงานค้นหาและกู้ภัยของอินโดนีเซียค่ะซึ่งแสดงให้เห็นว่ามีผู้ชายถือเต่าทะเลตามแนวชายฝั่งที่เกลื่อนไปด้วยเศษซากจากสึนามิแล้วก็สามารถที่จะปล่อยพวกมันลงไปสู่มหาสมุทรได้นะคะทั้งนี้เหตุการณ์นี้ที่เกิดขึ้นค่ะก็เกิดขึ้นหลังจากที่มีการระเบิดภูเขาไฟอันนักครักคาเทานะคะที่ช่องแคบของสุนดาทำให้เกิดคลื่นสูงถึง5 เมตรหรือว่า16 ฟุตนะคะชนชายฝั่งระหว่างเกาะชวาและเกาะสุมาตราของอินโดนีเซียมีผู้เสียชีวิตอย่างมากกว่า400 คนค่ะ
โอ้ก็นับว่าประเทศอินโดนีเซียได้เจออุทกภัยแล้วก็ disaster ต่างๆเยอะแยะตลอดทั้งปีนะคะแต่ก็นับว่าข่าวนี้เป็นข่าวที่ดีค่ะสำหรับเต่า30 กว่ารายที่ได้ถูกปล่อยกลับไปในทะเลนะคะ Definitely.
Right. So that said, that's it for the news updates for this week. We'll take a short break and we'll be back soon.
Stay with us. Welcome back to ASEAN Challenge. Into ASEAN Calendar now, we take a look at some highlights to mark your dates with.
ค่ะในช่วงนี้ ASEAN Calendar นะคะไปติดตามชมกันค่ะ The 12th of January 2019, Children's Day.The 12th of January 2019, Children's Day. The 12th of January 2019 was Children's Day in Thailand and is celebrated with events around the country aimed at young people. The day is known as One Dek, literally Day Children. One Dek is supposed to reinforce the notion that parents must set a good example for their offspring and that children should show gratitude to their parents.Thai youngsters can be seen walking around with balloons and enjoying games and mini concerts that are being hosted in shopping centers, schools, and the grounds of some temples. In Bangkok, the government house is a popular venue for family on Children's Day, with children receiving the privilege of being able to step foot inside the Prime Minister's office.A Bangkok survey asked youngsters what they wanted for Children's Day, and apart from the predictable request for toys, computers, and mobile phones, there were plenty of signs that Thai youngsters were happy with less materialistic gifts. Amongst the things that children asked for were peace and unity in Thailand, loyalty to the monarchy, and love from their parents. Asked how they wanted parents to set a good example, 91% responded by saying showing loyalty to the monarchy.Teachers Day, January 16, 2019, One Kru. Every year on this day, the Prime Minister or an important poet will establish the motto for teachers. Teachers Day is celebrated every year on January 16th in Thailand. It is also a school holiday. It is the day that teachers gather together to remember their first teachers. Thai people believe that any field of work will have a teacher, such as actors, dramatists, magicians, astrologists, and even boxers. Therefore, we need to have a Wai Kru ceremony to worship or respect the teacher. The highlights of the day include religious activities, a ceremony of paying respect to teachers, and activities to strengthen unity among teachers. The students helped each other to arrange a flower tray for Wai Kru ceremony. the children crawl up to the teachers on their knees, hands down, and present the flowers on a tray with candles and incenses. The flower tray is given to the teacher and have 3 specific flowers. The students also recite the Y Crew chant, which expresses respect for and gratitude to the teachers and ask for the teachers' blessings of their studies.
Next up, we have another important date for Rangsit University and also Malaysia, where the Dean of Rangsit University, Dr. Atit Urairat, has conferred an honorary doctorate degree to Malaysia's Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad.
ใช่แล้วค่ะในช่วงนี้นะคะไปติดตามภาพบรรยากาศเมื่อวันที่ 16 ธันวาคมที่ผ่านมาที่มหาวิทยาลัยรังสิตค่ะซึ่งทางดร.อาทิตย์อุไรรัตน์อธิการบดีมหาวิทยาลัยรังสิตได้มอบปริญญาศิลปศาสตร์ดุษฎีบัณฑิตกิตติมศักดิ์สาขาวิชาผู้นำทางสังคมธุรกิจและการเมืองให้แก่ตุนดร.มหาเทียบินมูฮัมหมัดนายกรัฐมนตรีของมาเลเซียค่ะ
the President of Rangsit University, Thailand, members of the faculty of Rangsit University, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, let me start by thanking Dr. Atit Urairat, the President of Rangsit University, for his kind words, of which, for some of them, I feel I do not deserve. Nonetheless, let me reciprocate to the warm welcome by expressing my deepest thanks and appreciation to the University for inviting me here and conferring on me this honorary doctorate. It is indeed an honor. I am humbled by the acknowledgements, and I am pleased to accept the honor conferred when I am Prime Minister of Malaysia, and thus an honor for my country too. As one of the top private universities in the country, Rangsit University has distinguished itself on many fronts, particularly in the fields of medicine, the arts, and the humanities. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate members of the faculty and academic staff of Rangsit University for its achievements. Their dedication in making this university one of the premier institutions of higher learning in Thailand, as well as in this region, is clearly evident. Ladies and gentlemen, I was recently in Bangkok in October 2018 for my official visit to Thailand after being sworn in as the 7th Prime Minister of Malaysia in May this year. I met the Prime Minister of Thailand, and both of us renewed our commitment to further strengthen bilateral cooperation between our two countries. Relations between Malaysia and Thailand had remained strong and friendly throughout the years. Although our diplomatic relations began in 1957, when Malaysia gained its independence 61 years ago, our historical ties and engagements have been much longer than that and could be traced back for centuries. For example, as far back as the 14th century, my home state of Kedah sent bunga mas or golden flowers to the Thai court as a tribute to Siam. Centuries have passed and history took its course. Our relations blossomed into a friendship through ASEAN in the 1960s and have further developed into the current solid partnership in bilateral and regional cooperation. We have had our differences in the past, but it was all resolved through mutual understanding and discussions. These differences have never led us to lose sight of the essential understanding and goodwill in our relationship. On the economic front, Malaysia and Thailand are among each other's top trading partners. Thailand is Malaysia's fifth largest trading partner globally and second largest within ASEAN. Our bilateral trade is growing steadily, reaching US $24.6 billion last year, an increase of 18.43% over 2016. Our cross-border trade, meanwhile, accounts for more than 60% of our total bilateral trade, which goes to show the importance of close cooperation and connectivity. We are also key resources of investments and tourism for each other, with close to 2 million Thais visiting Malaysia last year, while over 3 million Malaysians visited Thailand in the corresponding period. This is an opportunity that we should seize, not only in terms of economic growth, but also promoting greater connectivity and integration between both Malaysia and Thailand that is in line with the spirit of the ASEAN integration. Our two nations continue to prosper not only in government-to-government engagements, but also at the level of people-to-people interactions. If there are any two who does not subscribe to the policy of prosper thy neighbor, have a look at the Malaysia-Thailand relations and this doubt would disappear. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as the founding fathers of ASEAN, Malaysia and Thailand continue to play significant roles in ASEAN's community building and regional integration. It has been the cornerstone for both Malaysia and Thailand's foreign policy. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to have this opportunity to address the students of this university. You are the leaders of tomorrow and the hope for our future. To this end, universities play a significant role in providing opportunities and support for the students to explore new knowledge and realize their potential. Providing the necessary support and facilities to encourage the students to do research should be one of the priorities for governments. In developing countries, universities that focus on research activities are growing in numbers. While research universities in this part of the world have not yet achieved high global rankings, they play crucial roles in making it possible to join and compete in global knowledge society. I am encouraged to note that Rangsit University is already moving towards that. I look forward to see further cooperation between Rangsit and the universities in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I would like to once again thank the university for conferring on me the honorary doctorate. I deeply value the recognition, and I shall further to my people and the world possible. To the graduates, I'm sure you will be future leaders and architects of your nation. Congratulations on your graduation, and I wish you all the best in the future endeavors. I thank you.
And those are our ASEAN calendar highlights this week. We now take a short break, but coming back, more in ASEAN Interview. Stay with us.
เดี๋ยวกลับมาค่ะ
Welcome back to the program. Into ASEAN Interview now. We took a look at the journey of a young Rohingya woman who says that one way to tackle the impossible is actually through education to make things possible.
ค่ะในช่วงนี้อาเซียนอินเทอร์วิวนะคะไปติดตามชีวิตของสาวชาวโรฮิงญาท่านหนึ่งนะคะซึ่งมีความเชื่อว่าชีวิตของเธอและครอบครัวของเธอเนี่ยจะดีขึ้นหากเธอได้รับการศึกษาซึ่งจริงๆแล้วความเชื่อทั่วไปของชาวโรฮิงญาคือผู้หญิงไม่จำเป็นจะต้องได้รับการศึกษาแต่พ่อของเธอเนี่ยทำทุกวิถีหนทางที่ทำให้เธอเนี่ยมีโอกาสได้เรียนหนังสือจนกระทั่งทุกวันนี้เธอก็ได้ตามความฝันของเธอและได้เข้ามหาวิทยาลัยสตรีของบังกลาเทศชีวิตของเธอจะเป็นอย่างไรบ้างไปติดตามกันค่ะ
Let's take a look. On the first day of the school year at the Asian University for Women in southern Bangladesh, groups of teenage girls in skinny jeans, sleeveless tops, and t-shirts chattered, their laughter carrying through the sticky air. Going to college may have been an exciting rite of passage for other new students, but for 19-year-old Formin Atker, a stateless Rohingya Muslim from Buddhist-dominated Myanmar, it meant the world. She had spent most of her life dreaming of this moment, but as a Rohingya in Myanmar's apartheid-like Rakhine state, her goal of attending university had been thwarted. Hundreds of thousands of Rohingya have fled a campaign of arson, rape, and killing by the military since August 2017, and many of those still in the country are languishing in de facto internment camps.
So it is like sometimes I imagine why I'm here, how can I am here like this. So sometimes like this, oh, it is the university, it is my dream, yeah, it is my dream. When I child life, I dream the university, oh, it is my dreams come true. So most of the Rohingya is not learn the education, so I want to give more power to the Rohingya people because if one mother have not the education, their child also don't get the education. We are also Rohingya, I'm also Rohingya, I can study. Why they cannot study? They can also study if they try. They must be try to study because education is very important for the human life.
Raised by a father who wanted more than his peasant's life for his daughters, Formin and her older sister Nur Jahan had defied those in their community who believed education was wasted on women. They were the only two girls from their village ever to finish high school. Formin and 24 other Rohingya girls from the refugee camps had been accepted to the university's Pathways to Promise program, which offers a full scholarship to selected young women in marginalized communities. A few hours to the south, in the world's largest refugee camp, Formin's sister Nur Jahan spends her days teaching children and trying to forget how close she was to realizing her childhood dream. This year, her parents pushed her to accept a young man's proposal. Now she's married and pregnant and must stay at home. Foreman said her sister calls her every day. Foreman is excited about college, but she knows she's a constant reminder of the education that her sister and hundreds of thousands of other Rohingya women can't have. In May, Nur Jahan married a Rohingya from their village. Like Foreman, she had been desperate to continue studying, but she was older and there was no guarantee the university program in Chittagong would come through. Her husband declined to allow Nur Jahan to be interviewed alone. She sat in a chair with her back straight, legs folded, listening attentively and speaking enthusiastically about her relationship with Foreman and their life back in Yangti. But midway during talk of college, as Nur Jahan tried to stay composed in front of her husband, her voice cracked and she started to cry. And she said, "I miss her a lot." Foreman is hoping to study law after she completes her 5-year university program, including 2 years spent improving her English, math, and comprehension skills.
And that wraps up the ASEAN interview in our program for this week. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next week. As for now, สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ